Let me tell you the crime that got him caught and how it happened, okay? So on February 1st, 2012, mind you, backtrack, he lived in Anchorage, Alaska. In Anchorage, he owned a construction company. He had a live-in girlfriend and a young daughter, right? To his family, he seemed like a totally normal guy, an upstanding guy. No one thinks that your boyfriend who lives with you, who's the dad, who's the father of your child, is a serial killer. Like, you don't think that, you know? So, but he was. Anyway, so on February 1st, 2012, he pulled up to the Common Grounds coffee stand in Anchorage, Alaska. That night, a young woman by the name of Samantha Koning, she was 18 years old, she was working. She had only been working there about a month at this time, so she was kind of new to the job, but people really liked her. She was a very friendly person, and people loved her in the community. So anyway, the Common Grounds, the reason why he picked this specific coffee stand over all the others was because this one closed later than the others, okay? So he's like, okay, well, this is Anchorage. People are gonna be home, you know what I mean? Because no one wants to be caught in the Alaskan winter, mind you, dead of the Alaskan winter. So he's like, yeah, this is it. That night, what he did was, before he pulled up to the coffee stand, he listened to a police scanner. There was some sort of emergency that was going on the opposite side of town, so he thought, this is my perfect opportunity, right? All the police and all the, anybody who could catch me potentially are on the opposite side of town.
Question for you.
Yeah.
You mentioned he lives in Anchorage, Alaska, and he's doing this in Anchorage, Alaska.
Yes.
So did he typically do his killings in Anchorage, or because you mentioned he travels a lot of state lines, so
He typically did not, and that is one of the reasons why he got caught up with this, right?
Okay.
This comes into play later
Because I feel
on.
like it's difficult to go, because if you're familiar with an area, I feel like it's easier for you to kind of know what's happening. You can get away with it, but you travel across state lines. That's a risk of individuals, I guess, catching you, so on and so forth. So
Absolutely.
very interesting, very interesting.
Yeah. So this particular victim happened to live in the same city as he did, but he thought that, oh, okay, the opportunity's there. It's late. It's winter. No one's around. Perfect opportunity to
Yeah.
strike. You know what I'm saying? He saw that, and he's like, I'm going to strike at this time. So anyway, he pulled up to the Common Grounds coffee stand, and in the drive-through, and Samantha was there. And he ordered an Americano. She turned her back for one moment to get the coffee together. When she turned back around, there was a pistol being pointed at her, right? Obviously, she freaks out, right? And there's a security tape. If you guys are brave enough to look at that security tape, by all means, look it up. Trigger warning. Anyway, so he points the pistol at her, and he tells her, hey, turn off the lights, get down, put a jacket over your head, right? She does exactly that. What he does is he parks his car in the middle of the drive-through, and he literally jumps out of his car into the window, the drive-through window. He zip ties her, he bounds her, he gags her, right? He drives her to his home, which was a mistake in and of itself. When he got home, he realized this girl's cell phone's not here, and oh my goodness, I left some of the zip ties back at the coffee shop. So he runs on over, boop boop boop. He happens to he found the phone, and he got the zip ties, right? So he thought, whew, I'm good, right?
Yeah.
He goes back home. He put her in his shed in the backyard. Mind you, like I said, again, it's the Alaskan winter. It's very, very cold, right? And so that's where he strangles her to death and rapes her repeatedly.
Is after, so he raped her after?
Mind you, he like I said, he's an arsonist, a serial killer, burglar, but he also is a necrophiliac.
What is that?
Which means he has sex with dead bodies.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
guy's checking off all the boxes.
He's checking
man.
all of them. He's insane.
And he's a father.
And he's a father. He has a young daughter.
You-
Here's the gag, guys. You guys want to hear something crazy? His girlfriend and his wife were sleeping inside the house when he was doing all of this.
His girlfriend and his wife?
Yes. No, excuse me. His girlfriend.
His daughter. Yo.
No, I don't think.
He's also.
Is this man Lou Williams? Like, what's going on?
Oopsie daisy.
What is going on?
You casually said it. You can kill him one thing.
Player.
A wife and a girlfriend?
Yeah.
He's a polygamist and a murderer. My goodness.
This nigga's
I'm kidding.
juggling
I'm
everything.
kidding. Guys, that was my mistake.
Yeah.
His girlfriend and his young daughter were sleeping inside the house when all of this was taking place.
Okay.
Mind you, dead in the middle of the night.
Wow.
So that just kind of tells you where his mind is at and how he's willing to do anything, right? He's a very depraved individual. Anyway, the next day, on February 2nd, he woke his young daughter up, got her to school, he cut a ticket to New Orleans, Louisiana, and he went on a 2-week cruise through the Gulf of Mexico with the dead body wrapped in a tarp still in his shed. Okay? You see where he's at? He thinks he's untouchable. He's like, I'm very meticulous. I'm super on point. Who's gonna catch me, right? So while he's on vacation, the community is in shambles. They're like, where's Samantha? Where's Samantha? Her family's looking for her, obviously. There's a little bit of reward money that's being put out, like for her whereabouts and such, right?
Okay.
Mind you, remember when I said that this guy he only deals in cash, right? Because of how he moves. So he's like, okay, he gets the bright idea to ask for a ransom, right? The girl is dead already, but he's like, I'm gonna outsmart them. Boop, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, like I said, February 19th, he returned home. He took her frozen corpse out of the shed that he had. And again, necrophiliac, he had sex with the dead frozen body. The guy's a creep.
What the fuck?
You can't even imagine. It's hard to wrap
Yo,
your
how did
head
you pick
around.
this topic? How did you pick this guy?
Why'd you go first?
Honestly,
I swear to God, first of all,
So after this, we know Holden's a nutcase. Well, we know that. I feel like
Please.
go ahead.
Okay.
I am.
Are you guys intrigued?
I'm
like,
fascinated
on
yet
the edge of your seat right
disgusted
now?
at the same time. It's like,
Icarus flew too close to the sun, man. This guy is just.
wow.
He's insane. Okay, so he decided that since the money that the community has collected for her, like to get any info on her whereabouts, wasn't enough for him, he said, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ask for a ransom. So what he did was, and this is probably the sickest part for me. What he did was, he took her frozen body out, right? He put makeup on the body. He sewed her eyes open with fishing line. He got that day's newspaper, put it on top of her, took a picture of it to make it seem like she looked alive, and sent the picture to her family saying, if you don't give me $30,000, if you don't wire $30,000 to Samantha's debit card, her bank account, because he has her stuff, obviously, then she's gonna die, type of thing, right? So
But you can't take 30,000. Go ahead.
the family the community is wiring $30,000 to her bank account, the victim, the woman who's already dead.
Yeah.
They presume her to be alive, and they think that the kidnapper is just going to take the money and let her go. That's not the case. She's already dead. So anyway, he sent the picture to her family, and the family's like, okay, well, we have some hope. Let's put this money in the account. They did exactly that. Once he saw that the money hit the account, he dismembered her body, the frozen body, and he dumped the body in a lake. And he did that often. He in the investigation, the interrogations, the questions that they asked him were, where did you dump the bodies of your other victims and things? He never gave any specific locations, but he mentioned that he liked to dump bodies in lakes and bury them underground in random fields all over the country. So her final resting place was a lake in Alaska somewhere.
Jeez.
This is how he got caught up, okay? Because every dog has its day, okay?
Yeah.
Eventually, you need to get caught up. So basically, in early March of 2012, just a few weeks later, he went on another presumed kill trip, right? He flew from Anchorage, Alaska to Las Vegas, Nevada. In Las Vegas, Nevada, he rented a car, right? A white Ford Focus, I believe, and drove to Arizona. In Arizona, he used the debit card of Samantha, and he withdrew $400 from an ATM. When he went up to the ATM, he was disguised. He had a costume on, but the security camera caught the color and the make and the model of the vehicle he was in.
Oh, okay.
So the police, along with the FBI, because FBI always gets involved when a crime crosses state lines, right? Along with them, they put out an all points bulletin, right? Saying, hey, this person could be anywhere in the southern United States, southwestern United States, be on the lookout for this type of vehicle, right? He didn't know that, obviously. He's still thinking he's scot-free. So from Arizona, he drove to Texas. He withdrew money again from another ATM, right? And so again, that all points bulletin went out. Hey, this guy's potentially in Texas. He's driving a white Ford Focus. Be on the lookout. He was driving on the highway in Texas, and there was a highway patrol officer just kind of there, and he saw a car that matched the description of the bulletin. So he's like, okay, let me see where this guy's going. He followed the guy, and he what he did was he pulled him over. And the reason that he pulled him over was because Israel Keys literally was driving only 3 miles above the speed limit. That was what he got pulled over for.
Okay.
In a regular world, that doesn't really happen. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
this cop was suspicious. He's like, let me see what he's talking about. When he pulled him over, he found, right, dye-stained money that he had robbed a bank for, right? He also found another kill kit, rope, ski mask, etc., right?
Yeah.
So the cop called for backup. And
Wait, hold up. This the guy who robbed the bank?
Yeah, he was a bank robber too. When he was strapped for cash, I told you he's a
Can I
jack
ask
of
you a
all
question?
trades.
Can I just ask you a question?
Yeah.
What is he not? Is the question now.
Not.
He did everything. Like literally, I said he was
She
a
said,
serial killer, rapist, arsonist, burglar, and a bank robber.
I didn't
And a
even hear the bank
necrophiliac.
robber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
When he went on his kill trips, right? When he went on his kill trips and he was strapped for cash, right? He used to just rob local banks. He'd just be like, "Oh, let me run up on the plug."
Yo,
He ran.
badass, bro.
This nigga is.
He ran off on the plug more times than you can imagine.
You know what
Many
he did?
times.
This
Okay?
guy is juggling everything together.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Jack
Everything.
of all trades. He's insane.
In a negative way.
In a negative way.
He said, go big or go home.
So anyway, with that being said, the cop pulled him over because he was going 3 miles above the speed limit, right? He found the kill kit. He's like, holy moly, let me get some backup, right? Boom, arrested, right? And so at this point, and this is what happened. The cop asked for his driver's license. Israel Keys showed him his Alaskan driver's license, right? His Alaska driver's license. And Samantha Koenig is
from
from
Alaska.
Alaska. He's from Alaska.
Oh, that's
So he
tough.
put 2 and 2 together. He's like, boom, this is the guy. It has to be. Called for backup. He was arrested, right?
Oh, people already knew about the Samantha lady all the way in Texas.
Yeah, they
knew-
put an APB out on the car
meaning
because
it-
it was linked to the debit card that he used at an
Exactly.
ATM.
As I was saying, guys, sorry, I
The
just got
driver
distracted
license.
a little bit. Yeah, the Israel case showed the officer his Alaskan driver's license. The cop was like, "This is the guy." They arrest him right in early March.